back to my channel. My name is Sarah Flows, and I've been meaning to just sit down and have a chat with you guys and talk real talk about trailer life slash van life, which I'm assuming is kind of the same, but also kind of not. Alright, the reason we chose trailer life over van life was because purchasing a trailer seemed like a much easier thing to do at the time while we were living in St. Louis. We bought a trailer for $1,000 off Facebook Market in Indiana. And this trailer was from 1950. And we ended up naming her Nancy because while we were towing her back to St. Louis from Indiana, she was a little wobbly back there. So I said, whoa, you good back there, Nancy? And the name stuck. The funny thing about all of this is that when I was initially going into the process of trying to decide what trailer to buy, I got my tarot cards read by this very reputable source. Her name is Krista from St. Louis, and she's amazing. And she straight up said, like, if you have to like push it or force something, or like if you have to like empty your pockets to like make something happen in like a small period of time, then it's probably not the right time for you. I said, fuck that. I did not listen to her, and our lease was gonna be over in like 3 months. So we had 3 months to make this trailer livable. So the trailer we got was, like I said, $1,000, and it was from the year 1950. So this butte was 70 years old. 70 years of water damage, of being used, traveled in, leaks. Some of the windows were broken. Like, she was looking rough. Like, we had to rebuild this trailer. So we tore out everything. We tore out the walls, the floor. Literally, like, it was kind of therapeutic. We were just like ripping shit out. Shit out to the point where the actual like frame, like metal tin of Nancy, shifted and fell off the steel bottom frame, and it was real rough. Our friend Ariel basically saved the day, held up the entire trailer while we got everything back aligned, and like balancing her with stilts, and like she was looking a little rough there, but we got it together. I learned a lot about construction. It was just a very stressful 3 months of our lives. We were constantly working on Nancy, but when we weren't working on Nancy, we were thinking about how we were gonna be moving out of our apartment and all of the stuff we were gonna have to get rid of, because we were basically moving into like a walk-in closet together with 2 cats. I just wanted to give full trust in the universe, and that's what I did. And no, we didn't have solar panels, and we didn't have running water or like a 50-gallon water tank. Like, no, we had a 2-gallon water tank that you buy from like the grocery store, that you just pull the little thing and the water comes out, that we kept refilling. And then we had a bucket that we cut a hole in the bottom and then attached a tube that drained directly out into the ground, which was actually my doing. So or my idea. So that was like our plumbing situation. So we kind of had running water, but in reality it wasn't anything as luxurious as actually using like a sink. So sometimes I would be showering with a gallon of water in a Walmart parking lot. I can't believe I'm just like saying this on YouTube, but I'm really just like, from a person who's experienced nomadic living, not having a home and living in a trailer, this was the reality of it. Let me just rewind a little bit more. So the whole reason we went to Florida was for a temporary job. And that was also part of the reason that we were rushing to move into this trailer, because our lease was about to be up. We had this job opportunity, and it was only like a 3-week long job, but we were like, let's go, like, we're gonna make money. And then we did make money. We eventually did get paid, but it wasn't for a while, and we didn't have a lot of money saved up to start the trip initially, because we spent all of our money rebuilding Nancy. So we were pretty broke. Like, we were eating like raw tofu for dinner And like, honestly, it was good. Like, I know I had many choices that I could have made in the grocery store. And I am very privileged and very lucky that, you know, I have a home and I have people who support me. But still, at the time, it just felt very like, we're broke, like, no. We got paid, and then we moved our little adventure from Homestead, Florida, which was basically in the Everglades, which was wild. I didn't even see an alligator. What is that? We traveled to Corpus Christi, Texas, because Darla has a cousin who lives here who was willing to let us park our trailer in front of her house. And that was very, very important to us. That was literally like everything. Van life and trailer life are like two different worlds now that I think about it, because there were times when we were in Miami where we got kicked out of Walmart parking lots like regularly. It just straight up looked like we were boondocking. When we were settling down for the night, there was no hiding the fact, because we would bust out the generator, start that baby up. It sounded like a freaking lawnmower. But we had no other choice, because we were in Miami, Florida during the summer. It was hot and humid, and we have 2 cats. We can't just let our fur babies like get heat stroke. So we had to put jack stands on the front of Nancy before we could actually step in her, because otherwise the steel frame would bend and she would be untowable. So we had to put jack stands under her, so we couldn't really, if there was a situation where we had to like go in a rush, that just wouldn't happen. So like, it wasn't technically the most safest living situation either, especially being like 2 females. I'd like to think the universe is good, but you never know what could happen. Shit could always happen, you know? So that was another factor of our trailer living. And while we got kicked out of that Walmart parking lot, one of the workers came and said there's no overnight camping in this parking lot, there was a van life couple a few spots down from us who we could tell was living in their van, but they got to stay the night because they had solar panels that were silently giving them the energy they needed to run their air conditioning. And they were basically just hanging out in a car. Like, it wasn't like boondocking trailer style jack stands out kind of things. They were a lot more subtle. So that's another important safety factor. And another parking factor is that when you're in a trailer, it's really hard to find places to park that won't kick you out. Whereas if you're in a van, which only takes up 1 spot, which looks a lot more like camouflaged into the other vehicles around, you can get away with a lot more, like parallel parking in a city, like finding parking at a grocery store, parking overnight, is everything. So yeah, that was a little rough. So when Darla's cousin said we could park our trailer in front of her house, we were like, heck yes. And I was like, you know what, let's get an apartment. I'm like nomadic living is a dream to me. But now that I think about it, I want to do it when we have like money. And I'm not afraid to say it. You need money. Like, dang, those people who like rebuild vans and actually live full time, they got money. Food to eat, to have gas in your car, backup in case something happens. Like, money isn't a bad thing. Money is a beautiful thing. And I really just wanted to settle down, get an apartment, and I wanted to make money. So here I am working as a server. Really just wanted my cats to be happy in a bigger space. And that is the story of how we ended up in Corpus Christi, Texas after living in our beloved Nancy for about like 2 months. And honestly, I love my life. LOL at me. Like, literally, what? But now I get to live by the ocean, which is a dream come true. So even though it was like a struggle and an adventure and a weird, crazy experience, and it was a lot of time and a lot of effort to go through the whole process of living in a trailer, I don't regret any of it. I do not regret any of it, because I know now that if we decide to do it again, we're gonna do it right. We're gonna be prepared, we're gonna have a job, that, you know, we could turn to whenever we need money. We're gonna have a water tank. We're gonna have a shower somehow, some kind of system, a camping shower or something. We're gonna have, you know, like basic necessities to live, we're gonna have with us. So I know now that if we go into it again, we're gonna be more prepared, and it's gonna be a lot more sustainable and a lot more enjoyable. And now I just get to look back on how much we like struggled, and when we had like $7 to our name, and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, like I'm really glad that I experienced all of that. Ain't that right, Lavender? Come say hi to the camera. Come say hi. 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 Oh, he's like, no, Mom. And now that I'm living in an apartment in Corpus Christi, Texas, I'm feeling very nostalgic of the few months that we did spend on the road, because there were good times. There were times where we woke up in a beautiful campsite and we, you know, ate breakfast by the lake, and that was, you know, amazing, but not all of it was like that. So I'm excited to rebuild our lives so that in the future we could maybe go for it again in a more prepared and better way. Okay, well, that was my ramble about trailer life and van life, and that was not a means of turning you away from the idea at all. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sarah Flows. Subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about my impulsive vegan life. And yes, that's all.